Hi, good people. So, have you ever sat down and asked yourself a question? So that is what has just happened to me a few minutes ago. So, if this is your first time coming across my stories or anything that I do, welcome. This is where we share good vibes and we are all about positivity. So, I was thinking few minutes ago about the things that I don't have. So, I went on TikTok, and then my feed kept on, showing me people going on vacations and all that. But let me tell you, and I was like wondering, why am I not able to go on a vacation? Why am I not able to do this, blah, 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 what not, and that? So I remembered where God amenitoa. God has been so faithful to me to a point that I can't even complain. Story time. So some years back then, I worked in a company. I used to get my monthly salary, but let me tell you, my friend, ushaipata pesa haitoshi. Every time you pay the bills, you don't remain even with enough money to do something extra. It was about food, rent, and all that. Let me tell you guys, it got into a point that even paying my own rent was hard, and rent was around 3,000. So I was like, okay, because I go to work maybe let's say from 6 to 5 or 7 to 5, why not find a smaller or a good house that has mlango za mbele ama dirisha za mbele, and then I put up like a small business where I can be selling diapers, sweets for the kids, something to keep me busy in the evening when I'm from work. And that idea was so nice, and I was like, okay. So I shared with her. I was now researching the places where I'm going to set up a business. So there was this guy, we worked together in the same company. So I asked him kama anaweza pata nyumba Kayole, because I was looking at the places with the biggest populations and where also selling snacks, it is not going to be expensive. At least it is something even the kids can afford. And I was like, okay, I settled for Kayole because I didn't want also somewhere that is far from whatever I was doing around. So I asked the guy to help me find a vacant house. I wanted a single room with the open doors on the other side, so that I can be putting a business in the afternoon. I can be putting my snacks outside and then sell and do 1 2 3. Long story short, there was this guy who was sitting next to us. He was I think a manager or something, like he had a position in where I was working. And so this guy was like, why not mama, it's okay, stop making noise. Yes, it's okay. So he asked me, why do you want to go to Kayole? Why not come to Donholm? He lived in Donholm by then. So I was like, okay, it's how is the population? He said the population is good, people have money, blah blah blah. Remember, this is almost like 5 6 7 years ago. So of course, Donholm and Umoja, Komarok was like one of those places that at that time the people who are in Dandora, Kayole used to see like they are luxurious places. So I remember this guy telling me, badala ya kwenda Kayole sukuje Donholm. Nikamuuliza, how much is the rent? He told me rent is 7,000 or 65, around 65 7,000. You can find a good bed sitter. I was like, I do not want a bed sitter. Oh, it's not like I do not want a bed sitter. I asked him, so is that for what type of a house? He said it's a bed sitter, and I told him, siezi pata a little bit cheaper house, like maybe kama a single room. And he told me na madharau, like the way he was talking to me, it's like he's bringing me down, diminishing me. Is like, you can't afford. He told me, Donholm hatunanga single room. That is what he told me. And I was like, okay, so it's just he told me ile nyumba kidogo unaweza pata like iko chini kidogo, it's a bed sitter and it's okay. But the fact that he was talking to me like anani diminish, long story short, nilienda, I got a house, nikaset a business, and I did that business for some time. Ikafika place I had to quit my previous job because it was a little bit doing better. but it was not easy. The challenges that I faced when I was living in a single room, my friend, sharing the toilets. So I changed. I faced a lot of challenges when I lived in that that single room. So many people, like, it was so challenging. But let me tell you, after I quit my job that I was employed, the shop was doing good. I stayed in that house for almost 1 year doing my small business. It was doing good. I upgraded. I added some things in that shop. It was doing good until it got into a time I was like, no, this is not what I want. I want something better. So I decided to go abroad. I left the country and I went abroad. And let me tell you, when I went abroad, I came back in Kenya. The first house I lived was a bed sitter. It was around 7,500, and life was not hard at that time. Before hapo nyuma kidogo, I used to see 7,500 ama 7,600 ilikuwa a lot of money. But when I came back, God had elevated me and God had given me grace. And from that time, I went to another house. I stayed there for a few years. I upgraded, and from that time, God has always elevated me from this to this to this. Sijawahi rudi nyuma. I have always, ninakwanga tu ni kwenda juu. And today I was thinking unto myself, asking myself, why am I not grateful for the things that I have? When I was living in that single room, I used to admire people who had their own toilet. Those people who lived in a bed sitter and they have their own toilet, they don't have to share that toilet. I admired that life. I wished to have my own toilet. Remember, there was so many times I went to the hospital to cure sijui infections, UTIs haziishi, infections za haziishi. Mara you're going to the bathroom, kuna mtu mwenye amekojoa hapo, like someone has urinated in the bathroom. You are using the same bathroom to bathe. Like, it was so bad. Now that I look at myself, I can afford that toilet. I have my own toilet. I can clean it the way I want. I can choose not to clean. I can choose to clean. I can choose to use it by myself. And hakuna mtu mwenye ananiuliza. There was so many times I used to see people having a kitchen and I'm like, I want to have my own kitchen. At that time I couldn't afford, but today I have my own kitchen. Today I have my own kitchen. There was a time that I wished, like, tulikuwa na hizi stima za mulika mwizi. For the people who live in ghetto, they know mulika huku kwa ghetto, mulika mwizi is very common. There was a time ati nilikuwa nachota maji na I go outside, the people who are selling water with mkokoteni, I'm out there with my 20 liters jelly can, I'm buying water. Today I have my own meter in the house. Today I'm able to pay my token and I don't feel it is expensive. By then it seemed like to have a token is expensive, because when you live in the ghetto, most of the time they charge 200, 300 per month. But now I'm able to even pay my token even more than that, and I can afford it. There was a time when I lived in that single room. There was so many times that the landlord came to knock at my door and tell me haujalipa rent, and I don't know even how to tell him that I don't even have the money, and it is just 3,000. But now when I look at it, hakuna hata siku moja landlord ashenibishia mlango ama akiateka ama whoever it is kuniambia you have not paid my rent, you have not paid your rent, you have not done this, you have not done this. Hakuna hata siku moja nishaifungiwa maji, I have not paid the bill ya maji. Hakuna hata siku moja niliwahi ambiwa ati sijui nilishawahi zimiwa token ama token iliisha ati I am in the darkness because I cannot afford that token. So tell me, why should I not be grateful because today I'm living my answered prayer? And we have the tendency of always having to, complaining to God of the things that we don't have, but we forget about the things that we asked God for, and God really made them come true. God has been so faithful to me. And today I have really taught myself something, that I should be grateful for every step that I make in life, because other people just want what you have. Imagine, kuna time nilikuwa na admire tu mtu. I look at someone, I admire that person, I'm like, oh my God, this person is living their best life. So when you see people posting their vacations, even if it is around Nairobi, there is someone who is out there who anatamani kufika tu hapo penye umefika, not even a vacation, afike tu aone this is that Naivasha, this is that Nakuru, this is that Mombasa, this is what people just want to live their life. And we should normalize always having to say thank you, because let me tell you, people are going through tough situations out here. I don't even know how to explain this, but let me say God has been so faithful to me. At today, there was a time at I couldn't pay your 3,000 nini 3,000 rent. There was a time I couldn't even pay my own bill. I couldn't even afford token. I could not even afford water. I could not afford all those things. And today I can afford those things. Today God has been so faithful to me. Today I'm sitting here, I'm not even grateful. I'm asking God for those other things, forgetting that, oh my goodness, this girl. That's what happened when you have kids. Anyways, I was saying, when you leave your answered prayer, let me tell you, let us learn to be grateful for every single step that we take in life. It's not always all about complaining and asking God for the things that we don't have, and we forget the things that He has done for us. I mean, life has been so good to me, and from today, I'm going to learn to be grateful for every single thing that I have. There was a time things were so tough, I could not afford some things, and now I can afford them. It has been God. And let us learn to be grateful. And I pray that God give every single person of you a gratitude heart, a heart that is always grateful for the things that you have. Because let's assume in this scenario, you keep on doing something for someone, and this person never say thank you. They are always asking, how would you feel about it? So to me, I feel like let us learn to be grateful for the things that we have, because why not? Why not? It's not like I'm saying we should not ask, but let us be grateful for the things that we have. Let us be grateful for the things that God has done for us. Let us be grateful. Yo, guys, let us be grateful. Let us be grateful about the things that God has given us. You know, let us learn to be grateful for the things that we have, man. Let us be grateful. You never know. Let us be grateful. You know. So that is what happened when you have kids. They shout, but anyway, thank God for that. So what I was saying is that let us learn to be grateful in all situation. I pray that God give you that heart that is always thanking God. Let us be grateful. That is what I mean. And from today, I'm going to be grateful for every single thing that God has given me. There was a time everything that I have, it is not that much, but there was a time it was my dream. And when it got to pass, when God really did it for me, I never remembered even to say thank you. So from today, I'm going to learn to be grateful. And I pray that you also get that heart that is always grateful for every single step that God is elevating you to. Kwa sababu, why not? When you see those people who are living their posh life, there was a time they lived another life, and they prayed to God that God will elevate their lives into a better life. And where they are, it is their answered prayer. And for you, you feel like you are left behind because you do not have whatever they want. But what about the things that God has done for you? So I mean, let us have a grateful heart. And today I was listening to someone that was saying,